how much sleep do you need, or how much sleep should you aim for? These two questions in different ways come up in my practice all the time. So I wanted to take this opportunity to share with you an answer to this question that I covered in my group sleep coaching call within my Sleep Skills for Life program. And in this particular example, we really looked at a particular dynamic. Someone who is more of a thinker type, more of an active type person. Because again, every single person will want to have a real understanding of their own lifestyle and their own ability to be able to sleep in order to answer that question. So in this video, we're really going to look at focusing on someone who either uses their mind or their brain for their work, or spends most of the time really being in their head. So that's what I would call more of the thinker type. This is something that very much relates to me when I struggled with my insomnia. Some of those thinker type traits really started to get out of hand, especially when I would climb into bed and toss and turn, and actually resulted in racing mind. Now again, my experience with my insomnia was just one version. Yours will be different based on your circumstances and based on what is actually happening. But in this video, we're really going to look at doing my best to answer how do you even get to that number of sleep that you think you need. Now, before we do that, if you're a returning member of my community, then welcome back. As always, I really appreciate your views, your messages, and so on. And if you are new and this is the first video you have watched or watching from me, then let me introduce myself. My name is Beatrix Schmidt. I'm a sleep coach, a professional speaker, and the creator of the Sleep Skills for Life program, which is very much my way of helping clients just like you to overcome long-term sleep problems and insomnia as well. Now, if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, hit that little bell so I can let you know when I post new videos. And you're very welcome to join my email community as well. That is the easiest and most direct way of keeping in touch with me and getting updated with all the news that I share with my community. Other than that, once you watch the video, hitting the like button will also help me to really get an understanding of what kind of things you're interested in as well, and sharing more of it in the future. Now let's come back to today's topic. And when it comes to how much sleep you need, I think one of the first and most important things to really look at is you're not going to know what that number is until your sleep is actually in a good place. So asking yourself how much sleep you need when you still have quite significant struggles isn't really going to help you to really get an accurate number. I have this conversation all the time with my clients, what they think they need at the beginning of our work and what actually we figure out they need at the end of the work once their sleep is in a very solidly great place is often quite different. Not extremely different, but it is quite different. So this is why it's important to first of all really look at improving skill sets instead of perhaps really focusing your attention on how much sleep you're getting. The reality of how much sleep you need is you're only really going to know that once you sleep consistently well, because it also comes with the accumulative effect of sleeping in a good way night after night after night. And that is also part of really understanding how much sleep you need. If you have half the time when you sleep decently and half the time when you're not, your body often hasn't even recovered from the not so good nights in order to be able to really show you what is it that you really need or what is it that you need to aim for in terms of hours of sleep. So I hope that makes sense, and this will provide you with a bit of that introduction to this answer that I've given to a client within the group sleep coaching call. So let's turn our attention to my answer to this question. One of the first questions I always get asked is how much sleep should we aim for? And I think, for you, that is partly the question here. When I look at how much sleep you need as an ultimate optimized, so it's not just about the amount, but it's about what you want to get out of that refreshed feeling that you get after sleep. So for some people, sleeping more is not a problem. For some people, sleeping less is a problem. For some people, they want to squeeze more into their day. Sometimes they just actually want to improve the amount and the quality of their output. So the focus, the concentration, those kind of things. So everybody's in a different place. When it comes to you particularly and the things you shared so far, is you are a highly active person. But I also think that means that your body does not experience relaxation during the day, because you're always either in somewhat of an energized, active, hyper, maybe your mind is sort of planning or creating or anything like that. So if you think about you as a person, not comparing yourself to anybody else, you know yourself and you know that your output is always quite high compared to maybe someone else that you have in your life, a friend or so on. Now, when we have these type of either personality traits or naturally very external, outgoing, extroverted type people, what I see within my practice is the brain is very capable of blocking out, fully embracing relaxation. So if during the day you don't have a chance to relax, or you don't know how relaxation should happen, what it even means to you, then you can't create it at night. Which means if your body and your mind does not understand what full, ultimate physical, mental and emotional relaxation is, then your required amount of time at night will probably also be higher, because your sleep is not coming from a complete, fully relaxed place. It's still coming from either on being on a bit of an edge kind of place, which means that the quality of the sleep and potentially the depthness of sleep isn't allowing you to have shorter amount or less amount. That's probably the best way to describe it. And you're nodding, so you're understanding what I mean. So now for you, the question can only be answered once your body and your mind learns what this optimized relaxation is. I don't think you're there yet. And I think also what's happening here, and this is why I'm suggesting you need to submit things and do the worksheets, because this is one of the things typically I see with people like you who actually enjoy reading, and it doesn't seem to cause them issues. But if we take away reading, then they sometimes have more challenges. Because when you take away reading, does your body and your mind know how to relax in order to fall asleep in an easy way? Now you're falling asleep, but we're not sure your body and your mind knows how to really transition in a proactive way to this physical, mental, and emotional relaxation. And this is one of the reasons that I generally speaking, well, not generally, I don't recommend reading in bed, because it can put a blanket over something else. Read somewhere else, and let's see what happens when you don't have the opportunity to read, and whether or not it changes your ability to be able to fall asleep easily. Now, for thinker types, reading in bed or just before turning the lights off often means that you're distracting yourself, and that's how you fall asleep, rather than turning off things, and that's how you fall asleep. And you're nodding, so you know what I'm talking about. And one of the reasons I know this is I've been like that too. I know how it feels. So when you truly embrace this pure version of relaxation, meaning you do not need anything for it, then the quality of your sleep changes. Often the depthness of the sleep changes as well, because you're not on this sort of slightly edge state, you're fully embracing relaxation. And that's what I've seen in people like you when the amount of sleep decreases. Because basically when you're sleeping, it becomes more efficient, becomes more relaxing, therefore it becomes more recharging, and potentially within a shorter period of time. So that's on this hours of sleep. The The answer really at this moment is we don't know what your number is because you're still not at that relaxed state. Now that you have seen my answer to this question about how much sleep you need or you need to aim for, I'd love to hear from you. Let me know which part of this video has resonated with you, and let me know when you've already figured out what your number is. I always love to hear sort of those success stories and the sharings once you put something in place maybe that I've provided you with. So let me know in the comments what you have figured out is your real, true, optimal, great quality sleep and how many hours that might be for you. I'd love to hear that. And if you haven't yet, hit that like button below, subscribe to my channel, hit that little bell too so I can let you know when I post new videos. And other than that, thank you so much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.